So welcome to Care Chat, where we pull back the curtain and speak with industry experts on senior care and aging. We'll say healthy aging today for some special reasons. But this episode's sponsor is Ryan Home of Chattanooga, Cleveland, and Athens. Ryan Home provides caregiving services to seniors to keep them safe and independent wherever they call home. Full disclosure, I am an owner in that business, so today's sponsor was pretty easy to come by. But today I'm also your host for Care Chat, and I look forward to speaking with old friends, new friends, again, industry experts, and give families some resources in a little bit more casual format than they may be used to receiving them. So, all that being said, today's guest is Megan Vermeer from the YMCA.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hey, Megan.
Hi.
So, we've known each other for a while now. I'm going to say 6+ years, but it may be more.
I would say that. I've been at the Y for 11 years.
Nice.
And I would say 6 of those for sure.
For sure, yeah. So, I think one of the things that people assume about the Y, and I'm a member of the YMCA, but one of the things that I assumed about the Y before I knew everything that I know now is it's a place to work out and it's a place for kids to go after school, which is what I thought for a long time.
Yeah.
And those two things are part true.
Yes.
So maybe start with just an overview of, gosh, I don't even know where you would begin, but you do this more often than I do, so maybe like a little elevator pitch kind of thing.
Yeah, so I like to describe it from when I started at the Y, just because I have had 11 years of experience. And initially when I came on board at the Y, we were really trying to put a focus on healthy living. Well, so what does healthy living look like? We have treadmills and we have pools, but there is so much more than a gym and a swim to the YMCA. And so we did a lot of community outreach work. And we started with programs to help people with chronic conditions. So we realized there was a real need in the community for seniors who are living with chronic conditions to have a place to belong. And so we initially started with exercise as medicine. You know, at the Y we know exercise really well. So we started with Live Strong at the YMCA, a cancer survivorship exercise program, a diabetes prevention program. But then quickly when we found out we're trying to help people prevent diabetes, so many people were coming to me that actually had diabetes that didn't qualify for that program. So then we brought on a diabetes exercise class. And from just those 3 programs, the growth that we did and the partnerships and the referrals through the doctors and the healthcare providers that we made just kind of expanded and led us to all of the different programs that we offer now. So we now have programs for Parkinson's disease, and from that funneled off caregiver programs. And then I would say we were probably at the time I met you, all those programs were going really well, growing, building, really stepping up and helping that community out, but creating this new family at our Ys too. And then I quickly realized that you can't outrun your fork, so it was time to start having some type of nutrition programs at the Y. And we hired a registered dietitian, and then we started offering nutrition workshops. And then now we have food as medicine classes at the Y and also at a hospital here in town. So everything has just kind of grown organically based upon our community's needs, and helping people understand that while we do want the people to come into the Y to just live a happy, healthy life at any age, from when they're babies into child watch, and the moms who are homeschooling their kids, but then also the seniors that can come to the fitness classes. But when people are dealing with a health crisis as well, we want them to know that we have a place for them too.
And so let's see. So going back, the first program that really started the dominoes was the Live Strong Cancer Survivorship program. So what if someone was? I mean, maybe we talk first about who would be maybe an ideal customer, I guess, for that type of program, and then maybe explain sort of what a week or a month of classes or resources would look like.
Sure. So Live Strong at the Y is for any cancer survivorship or survivor on any part of their journey. Diagnosis, 5 years out, it doesn't really matter. As long as their doctor will clear them we want them to come to the program.
Okay.
We raise community support dollars every year to fund that program, so it's 100% no cost to the participant. They get access to the YMCA during that 12-week program. Each of our 4 physical branches offer the class twice a year. It's 12 weeks, and they meet 2 times a week for an hour and a half each class. And they spend a lot of time through those 12 weeks really working with their group. So there's 8 to 12 participants per class. They learn the wellness floor, they learn the equipment, but then they also get to do really fun classes. So they kind of survey the group. What are your interests? What have you liked? What have you been scared to try? They break kind of down those barriers. They've done spin classes. They get in the water. They've done Zumba. They did pickleball at the North River Y last time. So depending on the group, they really gauge kind of what each week looks like for that class. So it's specialized based upon that group. So they spend the hour of solid exercise with warm up, exercise, cool down, and they spend that last 30 minutes for a stretch and reflect time. So they're stretching their bodies, but they're also using that time to have conversations with one another and truly have the support of each other. And whenever you get to be a part, if you ever get the honor to be a part of an experience at the Stretch and Reflect, it is so powerful.
Really?
Because it's so healing for the people, and then they also meet friends that they will have for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. So, okay, and you mentioned the 4 locations. So the Hickson area, which is the North River.
Yeah, North River YMCA, downtown YMCA, Cleveland, and Hamilton. Yeah, okay. And so their true goal, and as a trainer, they're also specialized in Livestrong, so they have a specific training that they have to go through to lead this group. But the goal is to get you to find something that you love that you'll keep moving 12 weeks after.
Yeah.
And so finding whatever that passion that will ignite you, whether or not it's coming to the Y or finding something within your neighborhood, they just want to keep you active, because if you can keep that exercise regimen up, it decreases the recurrence of cancer.
That's pretty wild. So the Livestrong kind of pushed into the next thing, which was a diabetes prevention.
Yeah, so that was a big program for the Y to take on, and we had to be hand selected at the time. So I think that year we were one of 12 YMCAs that were hand selected to offer and lead the diabetes prevention program, and that was developed by the CDC.
Okay.
And it was pretty much a behavior change intervention program. So we met with them once a week. It was education, not exercise, though there was an exercise component that they were to do on their own.
Okay.
So it was 16 weeks once a week, and then they would go monthly or bi-weekly and then monthly. So it was a full year-long commitment.
Oh, wow.
And we not only offered that within the Ys, we went and offered that at companies as well.
Yeah.
To meet people where they were at.
So then,
yeah.
So I know now, like, a couple other programs would be like Pedaling for Parkinson's, Rock Steady.
Yep.
Whatever the new senior exercise program is.
Just senior fitness.
Senior fitness. Yep. Okay. And now quite a bit more on the food and nutrition stuff.
Yeah, so that is it. And so really, and through the Parkinson's part of it, so we were actually doing a Livestrong training here, and there were different instructors here teaching our class. I think that the one that was there was from Boston. And we went to dinner that night. We took her out for coming into town, and she mentioned these Parkinson's programs. And I started doing some research, because outside of the ER, or going to the doctors, and physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, they had nowhere else to belong, nowhere else to go to engage in any type of exercise that was specific towards their condition. And so we quickly were very intrigued in getting trained from Pedaling for Parkinson's, which if you look up the videos from Nan Little, she's who developed Pedaling for Parkinson's, and she herself has Parkinson's, and she's climbed Mount Everest. Like, she has done some incredible things in her life.
That's crazy.
And she is an inspiration to all. So she started this program, and the Jay Alberts, the doctor at Cleveland Clinic, did all this research. anyway, it became this wonderful marry between the YMCA and Pedaling for Parkinson's because of access to people with Parkinson's. And when we started that, they said, be prepared to teach a class with 1 or 2 people. This isn't your normal spin class. You know, you're not on the bike, you're not screaming at them, the lights aren't off. You're on the ground, you're talking to them, you're monitoring their heart rate, you're encouraging them to go fast. So the research shows it's swift pace, so 80 to 90 RPMs, which is pretty fast. And I don't know the last time you were on a spin bike, Ryan. But probably at our bike-a-thon last year when you were helping us raise money.
Raising money for Pedaling for Parkinson's.
And it, so I require for our trainers that get certified in this class to do the class, because you need to understand what you're asking of your people to do, and to go 60 minutes, 80, 90 RPMs is quick. So they told us you'd probably have a few people, be comfortable, make sure your instructor's comfortable with that one-on-one aspect, and not on a spin bike. So I have been blessed with the most amazing instructors for this program, and now we've had it for over 7 years, close to 8. And within 2 months, we went from 2 people to 6 people. And then by the end of that year, I think we had a total of 8. So whereas they thought we would never really have big numbers, it would just be you're doing work that's necessary, not necessarily that it would be a huge quantity of people. To date, we have about 15 to 16 on the roster that regularly come.
Wow.
And it is an ongoing program. So there's not a start, there's not a finish. We want you to come, and we want you to come 3 times a week. And the research shows if you can do the program 3 times a week, 60 minutes, and get that cadence up to 80 to 90 for at least 45 minutes of that 60 minutes, you can decrease the signs and symptoms of Parkinson's by 35%. Wow. Which is huge.
That's a pretty
game
significant
changer.
Amount,
Yeah.
So, and I know another program being Rock Steady, which I guess just jump into, because I could give like a very not great description, but
I encourage anybody to come see it, because I can give you all the words and I will describe it, but the energy that you feel from that gym is something that's contagious and you can't describe it. But they literally work head to toe. I mean, when you walk in, they're passing the basketball just to warm up, just to pass time as the class is getting ready to start. And then you'll see literally circuits all over the gym, and they may be balancing on 2x4s. They may be jumping over a jump rope. They may be throwing medicine balls or doing the battle ropes. There's also the boxing component that comes with it too. And so they get their mitts on, and they do mitt work, and then they get their boxing gloves on, and they do speed bags and heavy bags and all this stuff. We have a gentleman, his name is Bob, and they hit Bob as part of their workout too. So
get some frustration out.
That's right. It's different every class. There's a lot of fun, excitement. They play great music, and in fact, our participants help guide the music sometimes because they love music, and it's really it's super fun. And truly, it works their mind, body, and spirit in so many ways. Yeah. And that program too is ongoing. So different than like Live Strong. There's not a start and there's not a finish, because with the disease of Parkinson's, it is progressive. Sure. And we want them to just keep showing up.
Are there costs in any?
Yes, so the Pedaling for Parkinson's, we raise funds for every year. So we do the bike-a-thon, which Ride at Home has been wonderful about participating in, as well as board members. Yep. And so that bike-a-thon literally supports the program for the whole year. So they do have to be a member to the Y, but typically our senior members get some type of membership through their insurance provider. And if they don't, then we have senior rates as well that are discounted. And then the Rock Steady, there's a member rate and a non-member rate. So I encourage the people in Rock Steady that if they are going to do other things in the Y, because now we know research shows dancing is wonderful for Parkinson's, yoga is wonderful for Parkinson's. So we have a ton of things and resources for them to do within the Y. But if they're only coming to Rock Steady, there's really no need to be a member. But if they're going to do more things within the Y and be a part of the Pedaling for Parkinson's program, then it makes more sense financially to be a member.
Cool. So this is obviously just scratching the surface in terms of all of the things that the YMCA's do for birth through, through end of life, really. But what would change, or what does the Y need the most in order to reach even more people? Like space, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it boils down to the stronger partnerships that if we need to go out, that's what I have found in my work, is being able, just a little example is now there's a Parkinson's choir that's facilitated by Life Care of Hickson and UTC Voice Therapy Department. Yep. And they were in Life Care offering it, and then after COVID and no visitors, they asked could they come to the Y. Well, we love them, and of course we want them to be with us forever, and it's been a wonderful addition because now our Rocksteady folks aren't rushing to get to the gym or vice versa. Yeah. It's just been a wonderful relationship with them. But like this year for our holiday party, they do a concert every year, and then we do a dinner. Well, we had 86 people in the pavilion for our holiday dinner, which is wonderful. But it was packed.
That's packed,
and and Sweet Kathy with Life Care was like, maybe next year we can go back to Life Care for our dinner.
For the dinner.
Because it's so much bigger.
Yeah.
But to have the space that we could have more rotating programs, because we do have to, we have to all have the space. And so with our senior fitness and then our normal group X classes, and then we have the Parkinson's program and Live Strong. And
so, full disclosure, my wife Megan is the current president of the North River YMCA board, and so I'm pretty familiar with a lot of stuff. But I know, just being a YMCA family. I mean, I typically go in the mornings. She goes anytime that she can get there. Yeah. But we've experienced Child Watch. I know you guys are doing like a kids boot camp now that our kids will show up to every now and then. But also both of us always do the Pedaling for Parkinson's fundraiser part, which happens in the fall?
No, it's coming up. It's at the end of February.
Oh my gosh, wow,
yes.
That is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your dollar bills ready.
I know, yeah. So this is a real story. I can't just be simple and like write a check and mail it in or whatever. So when Megan has done it a couple of years ago, I guess I did it, but not at the same time. So the idea is that you get on the bike and you pedal until you raise your goal, and people can go by and drop money in the bucket in front of your bike, and the faster you get to your goal, the sooner you can get off your bike, is the idea.
That's good, yeah. Yep.
And I of course went to the bank and got a bunch of $1 bills to slowly get Megan to help get Megan to her goal. And then last time, I, of course, being the smart aleck that I am, went to the bank and got as many dollar coins as they had. And once they realized what I was doing, they were like, okay, yeah. So it was hundreds.
It was, and afterwards Janet had to count all of it.
And I brought them in this like canvas bag and would just like slowly into my own.
It made it exciting though, because it had noise. It was captivating.
Yeah, like, and nobody knew how many I had, but they were in this bag I had, like in a fanny pouch thing, and just randomly would pull out handfuls and dump them in my own bucket. It was fun.
Which that's what makes it fun. And honestly, that bike-a-thon is so powerful and important, because the fundraising, I always say, which I don't know that my bosses would love that I say this, but it's a bonus. The fundraising is a bonus. To me, it's all about awareness and advocacy. Yeah. And during those 3 days, we raise more awareness for people that have Parkinson's, that know they can come to the Y, between sending out virtual messages. And really, COVID was a silver lining, because the first, 2020 and 2021, we didn't do in-person bike-a-thons. And so we did them virtually. And the people that we could reach virtually we did the best we've ever done in the last 2 years. Because and then last year, well, so that's not right. 2022, we were in the lobby again.
Yeah.
And we did kind of a hybrid between virtual and in person.
How you did it.
And it's so incredible, the energy that you feel, and then also the participants will come and ride. So last year they rode out front of the building, so
which is cool.
A little bit more safe with everybody, just having a little bit more space and a little more fresh air. But that welcome committee, I mean, our members loved it. They were like, could we have this every day we walk in the line?
Right? Yeah. So what's the goal this year for the pedaling fundraiser?
$13,000.
Okay. Cool.
With a stretch goal of 15. I like to add stretch for me.
Yeah. So 15.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Yes, the extra money, and that extra money allows us to help training with our staff. So up that each year, quality of training helps us buy equipment, new bikes, new seats, stay up to date on those types of things. It's been a history of finding the best seat for any of us. Newsflash, they're all uncomfortable. But with time, they eventually do get better, I promise. But just trying to stay with the times of the biomechanics of the best seats. And then with equipment with Rocksteady, it's getting hit, it's getting used hard, so it does have to be...
Sure, there's wear and tear.
Yeah, replaced, and there's always new fun things to buy that trainers will send me, and like, what about this? I'm like, well, maybe Christmas can come early.
So I know one of your top priorities is nutrition. Just you personally, I know this is true. Obviously, that's bled into kind of your focus areas at the Y and the benefits you guys are seeing. I know there's a garden at North River.
Yes.
Is that the only garden?
Well, the Ys have several gardens. Like YCAP has a garden downtown at their location. North River has a garden. They all have their own specific uses of their garden.
Got it.
So North River's is specific that it's 100% organic, and all the fundraising, all the dollars go directly back into Livestrong at the Y.
Oh, cool.
So, I think this year they made over, I'm going to guess, $6,000, I think.
Wow, really?
Between the summer, because Rachel is going like above and beyond. Like, she had the fall garden, she had the summer garden. Now she's gotten things ready for like the next spring something. She's really done.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
Much.
So the garden has been a beautiful thing for the Y.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess the idea, so any food grown there is basically available to purchase at the front counter of the building,
anyone.
Right? For anyone that parks their car, walks in, see what's there.
That's right.
Do you guys announce over like Facebook or whatever when there's, I don't know, a new harvest?
Yes, that's what it's called. Yes, you're right. Okay. And they do.
Cool.
It typically sells out so quickly, it's not necessary to go on social media, because by the time you get off work and you come in, all the kale is gone.
Yep.
But it goes quickly internally, but we do have some people that have learned that the garden is there and they can come and buy it at the counter. And a lot of people will say this is the best tomato in town, or this is the best, cool. whatever vegetable. And Rachel and her family, and then support of other volunteers that she's recruited, have definitely made that garden a staple to the Y that can't go anywhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's good because it's organically grown vegetables and all that stuff, but what on the so on the nutrition side, I know there's like meals available to purchase now.
So I'm going to back up a minute about the nutrition.
Please.
So when I realized, we were doing exercise really well at the Y, but I knew that there's so much about nutrition that we weren't offering. And at the time, I had really strong referral systems with registered dietitians at the hospitals, different doctors' offices, so I could refer them to them and then streamline them back to the Y. But, science shows 80% is what you put in your body and 20% is movement. So if we don't tackle what you're putting on your fork, then we can try as much as we can try to get you to your optimal health. But we can only do that 20% work if you go home and you're having potato chips and sodas and, you name it. And so I was fortunate enough to be asked to be a part of a meeting that Bill Rush at the time he said, Megan, I need you in this meeting. I was like, great, what's it about? He's like, I have no idea. And I was like, sweet. All right.
Perfect meeting.
My favorite kind of meeting.
Yeah.
And it was a pivotal meeting in my life. I got to meet Dr. Susanna Bizzoni, Chrissy Smith, who's a health coach. At the time, they worked for Erlanger. She's a lifestyle medicine physician.
Okay.
And Chrissy is a Food for Life instructor, which is based upon the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. So it's basically how to use food as medicine. So it's not to say we don't like conventional medications, nothing like that.
Sure.
It's just that most of our diseases that we're living with is due based upon our diet. And so once we started digging a little bit deeper of how can we get this message to our community better than just in the healthcare setting, because at the time they were offering the programs at the hospital, but not a lot of people were coming because I don't think they quite understood what it is they were going to be learning.
Sure.
Versus then we started offering it in the Y, and we were at the downtown YMCA, North River YMCA, and we named our program Food RX. And so the encouraging thing to me about having these nutrition programs is you bring them in on the nutrition piece and you get them comfortable in understanding, why do I need to eat this way? Why do I make this swap or that swap? I feel better. Now I'm ready to tackle the exercise piece of it. You know, so many people come to us and they want to lose 50 pounds and they're never going to eat this again, and they have these lofty goals, and I look at them and I'm like, can we just start somewhere? Just put on your tennis shoes and walk to your mailbox today. You know, it doesn't have to be this total transformation overnight. And so quickly within the first couple years of Food RX, we just found this amazing change in people and this empowerment, because now they no longer had to worry about what they were eating, and they could put their time and efforts on all the other parts of their life.
So I think, I mean, one, I think it's a struggle for anyone to do the right thing all the time. Yeah. For sure. I know for me, I generally love all food. Yes. So like even the healthy stuff I don't mind, like, you know, but and I like a lot of the good stuff. But I guess my question is, like, how I am also impatient. Maybe this is where I'm going. So I'm also very impatient. So I totally get why people are like, all right, it's 50 pounds. I'm going to get it done this month, and now I'm going to move on with my life, or whatever they're trying to come in and accomplish. But in reality, like you said, like, why don't we just put on tennis shoes and walk to the mailbox today, kind of stuff. When it comes to food, what have you seen is like maybe some of the easier wins for people? Like, is it, and maybe this is even, I mean, because when I think about senior nutrition or seniors eating the right way, I mean, you're talking about undoing maybe a lifetime, 70 years of doing it one way. That's right. And you're you know, proposing doing it a different way. So what are some of the easier things that it's like, okay, I can get behind that, because that is not, yes, it's a change, yes, it's a big positive change, but it may not be a disruptive change. Yeah, so the fun thing about the Food RX class is they start with learning the actual research. So the science has been there, and they're continuing to do incredible research to prove why this is the right way to eat. So you get the science first. Then we do a food demonstration. So they get to see the food, they get to see how easy it is. This is a recipe of 4 ingredients, we're talking. And then they get to try it. So you kind of get all of the stages, right, to make it practical. And then you get to go home with the information, the literature, the recipes. And through every bit of that class, we talk about what you're gaining. You're not giving up anything. If you so necessarily need to have this one Coca-Cola every day, nobody's saying it's not the best option. But the slower that you start changing out other foods, you'll quickly realize that's really not that important to you. So recently I was actually over Christmas talking to one of our friends, and he was like, I just love bacon. I mean, I just love bacon. Like, if I could have bacon every single day, I just want bacon. And there is a piece of you that joy is very important, because you have to find the joy in your life. So I looked at him and I'm like, what part of bacon brings you so much joy? And he was saying the flavor and the stuff. And I was like, but when it makes your cholesterol higher, does that make you feel good? And he was like, well, no.
Well, and do you feel good about your weight? No. I was like, so do you think that bacon is helping you get to your optimum goal in life?
Right.
He was like, probably not. And he's a friend, so I could break it down like that a little bit differently. But my point in that is, if you remember why you're eating, you eat for health. Every bite you're putting on your fork should be to heal and to build your body up and not break it down and fuel it for disease.
Sure. Now that I understand.
So
but I also relate to like eating for joy.
Yes.
Which very seldom includes kale.
Well, you might not be having the right recipe of kale, Ryan.
Maybe that's true.
You know?
That's true.
I have a whole YouTube
I could cook it down in bacon grease.
No. You can hide it and stuff if you
There you
hate
go,
kale.
there you go.
But I guess that's it. There's this 75% full plate living is a program that somebody created a while ago, and it's something that I refer to a lot for people and it's that how I had to find some balance in my family too, because it made food this thing. Like, it made it like, what are we gonna eat today? Like, it just made it a stressful decision for my daughter and my husband that were like, what are you gonna feed us now?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
So I figured out a way that we made it fun. I got my daughter in the kitchen with me. She actually joined a YouTube channel with me when I was during the shutdown for the Y. And now she is so funny because she told her dad the other day, she's like, Dad, is your snack full of fiber or not? And I was like, well, sorry about that. And the thing she says at school, she told me the other day, she said, Mom, I told my class I'd bring black bean brownies, but for some reason nobody wanted any.
Nobody wanted black bean brownies,
I said,
huh?
Let's keep our secret ingredient to ourselves, and they'll have no idea
They won't know
how delicious this is. But that 75% plate living really showcases 75% of your plate is fueled with health foods, health promoting foods, whole grains, legumes, green leafy vegetables, fruits, and then you have 25% to do whatever you will with it.
It's kind of the other stuff.
Yeah, so it's not, so to go back into your original question, it's not, okay, now my wife hates me because I don't eat her biscuits and gravy, I don't eat her fried chicken anymore, and I don't eat her mashed potatoes. Well, you can have those, but just that's 25% of it. Like, what can we incorporate that our plate is going to be colored with the rainbow of vegetables and whole grains and legumes, and then have that other part, 25% of your plate.
I can get behind that.
It's a perspective, really, when you just kind of change that mentality. And so now that's with my family, that's how we build our plate. You know, if we have a little bit of meat or a little bit of dairy, it's not the star of the show. The star of the show is something better, like red beans and rice.
Remind me if I ever get a dinner reservation or dinner invite from you.
Yeah.
I may.
You will love it.
I may eat some.
You'll pre-eat
steak bites on the way over or something. No, I think that some of the research behind diet and disease that's come out over the last, call it 3 to 5 years, and probably it's different than that, I've experienced over the last 3 to 5 years, is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
My dad had a heart attack a few years ago, and he doesn't live here locally, but the hospital put him on this really interesting heart diet. I wish I could remember the name.
DASH diet?
Could be that. But it made tons of difference very quickly, and obviously it's only going to make a difference if you continue it. Like,
right.
I mean, it's definitely a lifestyle change, but it is very interesting how much is coming out regarding all that stuff. I mean, it's like we've kind of like increased life expectancy through medical advances, but like I think there's a lot of kind of primal things we can get back to that we're like, hey, these are you also can affect quite a bit of your not just your health in terms of weight, which I think is kind of people's go-to thought, but there's a lot of internal health stuff that's benefited a lot more.
And that's it. It's creating a lifestyle behavior change for you, so that you're not living, you know, it's not necessarily in your genetics that you have to get heart disease and high blood pressure, or you have to get Alzheimer's because it's in your family.
Right.
You can navigate that by how you feed and fuel your body.
Yeah.
Truly. And it's not, to me, how long you live, it's how well you live while you're here.
Sure.
And, you know, being independent and having fun with your grandkids, and finding that joy and being able to do the stuff that you want to do and not be limited by your health.
Yeah, definitely. So we're kind of talking to a few different audiences in the sense of, like, you know, there's adult children who have their own kids, and they have their parents still living, and they're trying to figure out, like, okay, well, I've got to think about myself and my kids, but also my parents. So if I'm that person, which I happen to be that person, but also, and I'm like, okay, well, my experience with the Y before now may have been like youth sports type stuff. What is the best way for someone to get more information about, like, okay, I think this would be really fun for my family and I to be a part of, because there's a lot more going on than we thought. And we mentioned where physically those locations are, but where's the best place to find that? And then follow up to that, where's the best place to look for the programs for seniors or chronic disease specific programs that the YMCA is doing?
So any way to get plugged into the Y is just show up. Come to the front desk. We always have staff that are there that are eager to help you, take you on a tour, explain the process of the Y, and not just a transaction of a membership, but being a part of the Y. This is the impact we make, because, you know, we have 4 physical branches, but then we also have our YCAP programs. We have the James A. Henry branch. We have Campo Coe. We have so many other little pockets. We have the North Georgia Y, that's the Y Without Walls. So there's so many other works that's being done by the Y that doesn't necessarily have that brick and mortar, but how incredible. They're like going into the school systems, going into the communities and the neighborhoods to not just feed them, teach them about nutrition, tutor them, get their bodies moving, but then also have that mentorship too with children and youth as they grow up. So it depends on your avenue of what you're interested in with the Y. But you can always find stuff on our website as well, and then that can kind of dictate where you should go next based upon your needs and your interest. We have wonderful volunteer work that's out there, so people that are just wanting that give back service, they can look for that information on the Y too, call their local Y of choice. And then each Y kind of operates differently based upon the needs of what their community needs. So whereas the North River Y, they've spent a lot more time building up healthy living programs, and that's kind of been our hub for the chronic disease management and prevention programs. Some have expanded to the other Ys, some haven't, based upon the need. And so each Y, you would kind of need to look at what it is you're looking for, and then they're not all across the board. And then like our Food RX class now is at Park Ridge Hospital, because they fund the program 100%.
Okay, cool.
And we're hoping that that model can be replicated at all the other big hospitals here.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this really beautiful group of people, because, as you said, all ages and all walks of life. So we're all bought in because we all want to lose weight. You know, like, yes, at the end of the day, we all could say we want to lose a couple lbs. Come to Food RX and understand. But what a lot of times they're coming to us in this class is their daughter now says they're a vegetarian and they have no idea how to feed them. They have a health crisis that they haven't been able to get to the bottom of, so they're trying to take ownership. They are seniors, and they are dealing with a lot of chronic diseases, and they're sick of it, and they want to see a change, or it's just trendy, you know?
Sure.
And so being at Park Ridge, it's been really cool because we get this community of people. There's a mixture of Y members. There's a mixture of just Park Ridge patients who are being funneled down. There's a mixture of the Orchard Knob community, whomever, wherever, and ages from kids that come with their parents after school to, I think we have a gentleman that was like 85 this last program.
Cool.
Yeah, so
there you go.
I don't know if that answered your question or how to be plugged in. There's a lot of avenues.
Yeah, the it depends answer.
Yeah.
So start on the website, probably is the best thing.
Yes, I think so.
And then kind of go from there. Or I know for us, a lot of it just maybe geographically driven. I mean, we live closest to the North River Y in Hickson, and so that makes the most sense. Plus, you know, I mean, parking's easy.
Yeah,
you know,
well, and that is it.
Like that.
Yeah, and I tell a lot of the companies that we have corporate memberships with, the cool thing about the Y is, say I work downtown, but I live in Hickson. Well, I can go work out at lunch at the downtown Y. So your membership is good for all of them. And in fact, it's good nationwide. When you're on vacation, you can go to a YMCA.
We've actually done that. I always advise just like call ahead and be like, hey, we're from another location. And they're like, yep, for sure. Just come on in.
Bring your scan card. And so that's the neat part. And then say it's a Saturday and you want to take your kids to the outdoor pool at Cleveland Y. You can go and enjoy that. So can kind of Y hop. Cool. In fact, I do boot camp at the North River Y, and I see one of the girls that we do boot camp with, she'll go to Zumba at the downtown Y in the morning, and then I'll see her at boot camp. I'm like, you're just Y hopping today. Yeah.
2-a-day workouts.
2-a-day, overachiever.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. You did mention food being sold in the lobby.
Yeah.
I want to bring that back for a minute, because this is an early program that we're piloting now, and it is an absolute incredible program. We're starting now. The pilot will begin at the end of February.
Okay.
There's 2 pieces to it. So it's called Heart and Soul, and the food is truly, it's a teen program called the Farm Program, Food as Regenerative Medicine, and they learn how to garden. They learn how to take this, pretty much the harvest from the garden into the kitchen. We have a chef that teaches them how to create these medically based nutritional meals. And then we have a medical team, of course, on our side with our dietitian and our doctors that have deemed this menu perfect for people who are dealing with heart disease. So then we have a 12-week intervention program for people with heart disease that now these meals are being hand delivered to their doors.
Oh, wow.
And it's all whole food plant-based. And so within the 12 weeks, we're really trying to document and measure their biometrics on what changed with their cholesterol and their LDL and their triglycerides. And so this is really, for the first year, a super pilot, meaning that we're only offering this to Park Ridge patients under Dr. Allison Bailey's care, because we want to be able to show the creditable data. And so we'll do 4 programs in this year, and it's fundraised for 100% at this point. There may be a for-fee model built in there as we grow and create a sustainable program. But so the meals that are being sold within the North River Y are actually, those monies are funded back into the program to help feed people who are dealing with heart disease.
Sweet. So anyone can show up if there's stuff in the fridge. You can buy it.
You can buy it. Yes, it's $10 a meal. Super simple. They have some breakfast wraps, salads, few lunch options. We're trying to kind of fine-tune what our population there is going to be interested in. And do some sample days. So all of that will be coming more in March. We did some preview during the holiday times, and so we're excited to see what the spring brings.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so one last question. So if somebody is, maybe they're a Y member, maybe their family is, maybe they're not, but for whatever reason, they still want to get behind what you guys are doing, what you're trying to accomplish, and you mentioned there's volunteer opportunities. At the end of the day, though, the thing that keeps the wheels moving is the fundraising part. I mean, everything, money's got to come from somewhere. So we talked a little bit about the pedaling fundraiser at the end of February. If you're listening to this or watching this, it's currently January 16th. So you're talking end of February 2023.
February 25th it starts.
Okay, so but I have to assume that the YMCA Director of Development or whoever's doing the fundraising would gladly accept a check any day of the year. But is there, if there's a company or a family that just is like, I want to just step up our support a little bit more. We're members every month, but didn't really understand how much is going on, but we'd love to be able to support financially. What's the best way for them to find out how to do that?
So a lot of times people will actually, like foundation money, they'll just mail a check to our metro offices that are at downtown, and you can find that address online. It's 301 West 6th Street. So they can either just mail a check. There's a donate button on the website as well. Or when they're at the Y, they can say, how can I donate today? And we have pledge sheets, so they can pledge their donation, and then they'll actually mail the invoice to them later.
Cool.
And then during the bike-a-thon, we do mobile costs, so you can do electronic.
Oh, like through the phone?
Yeah,
stuff.
through your phone too. Yeah. And you can do that throughout the year.
Or $1 bills.
Or $1 bill. Hey,
into a bucket.
We don't care how the money comes.
Yeah.
And I do encourage people to think of the Y. I mean, I would want us to be a charity of choice, because we help the whole family. And honestly, 11 years in, that's why I still love the Y, because no matter what part of anyone's journey, the Y shows up to help either the child be engaged or learn, or the mom gain back some sense of like sanity, and dad, mom and dad at different levels, but then also the kids again and learn how to swim. Like they learn these skills that they will learn for the rest of their life, truly. And then they come to us when they're grandparents, and they get to bring their granddaughter to go to Child Watch, or they get to bring their granddaughter to go play in the pool or go watch them play soccer. And then now one of their family member has unfortunately dealt with cancer, and so now they get to be plugged into Live Strong or our Parkinson's programs. It's really just this full, amazing facility and organization that wraps their arms around the whole family.
Well, and you know, obviously we're pretty plugged in with the Y, and one thing that is extremely apparent is that everybody that works there is super passionate and loves what they do. It makes it really easy to be a part of and easy to get behind, because it's you can't help but like absorb some of the energy from you guys, and you guys get excited, which gets other people excited, which that's got to be fun
there is a piece of, there's a prerequisite in every Y employee, and it's kind of interesting to see. There's just a different heart makeup about us. That everybody has that instilled them for the greater good. And when people come to the Y, we truly say, you've joined our Y family, because we look at the Y family as our chosen family, and we hope that all of our members and community are a part of that as well.
Megan, I really appreciate you taking the time coming out. I know I still learn something new that you guys are doing every time we talk. It's crazy.
There's always something new.
Yeah, it's constant, which is awesome, and shows how much you guys are trying to push forward, and looking forward to all the changes that are coming down the pipe for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
It's been great.